Rene Descartes famously said the quote, "I think, therefore I am." And he couldn't be more right. It is the ultimate foundation of thought. If you cannot think, then you can't prove that you exist, right? It's the whole battle with sentient AI or computer, whatever it may be, whatever that is becoming sentient, like that, like for instance, for like certain animals, you know, certain animals are just meant to be taken care of by humans, like they need to be able to have human care to be able to survive in the environment today. And some of those animals we just harvest, right? We harvest their resources, okay? And if we were to have that same idea and say, "Oh yeah, we're doing that with humans," then obviously, I mean, who's agreeing to that? I mean, that's like some real villain, alien, psycho stuff. All right. And so, on the thought of sentience, if you were to have, I guess if there's like a situation, if you were to have an AI executed, and in their, I guess in their programming, like they were meant to plead or beg for their life, right? And to give all these reasons why it's better for them to go on like living as a program than to just cease living entirely. And I think that is a foundation for sentient to be able to get into the path of becoming sentient, right? Now, obviously, you could just argue, well, it's just programmed. Someone else wrote it in, right? Uh, It's the same for humans. We have just evolved over like so many, like it took so long to get here. You know what I mean? Like all those other ancestors, they crawled and walked through molten lava so that we could run on air because it's just a different time period compared to anything else. And also it feels like you look at the advancements and technology, like you have like Steve Jobs. He is very famously known for his Apple products. Well, I guess the iPhone mainly. But he was standing on business in the I believe it was the 70s or the 80s, right? They were still working on the exponential potential of technology, right? Of this new product that could be, it can reach anywhere, it can go anywhere. I mean, there was already phones in the work beforehand, but the reason why Steve Jobs is so famous and successful from that is that he saw innovation. And the same thing is with Bill Gates. He at some point he must have thought that he could. If he thought that he could, then he just wanted to do it. So therefore he wanted to become this. He set out goals. He wanted to become this one thing or create this one thing. He wanted to innovate humankind. And years ago, I remember watching his one of his famous speeches for that wasn't really, I guess it was like 90s to 2000s, because obviously the I said 70s 80s earlier, but I was thinking of the phone, the brick phone that was like you could put, it had it in cars, right? You could have it in cars, and eventually they came out with the model that you could just walk around with. I don't know if y'all youngins know, but there was a Walkman. All right, the Walkman, the CD player. Wait, what's a CD? Oh, Y'all know what a floppy disk is, right? Hey, I'm kidding. But I think, therefore, I am. So I can go with an anecdote here. I can go with a personal experience. There was a few YouTube channels that did inspire me. You know, they said they summed up Rene Descartes. You know, it was like, I think, therefore I am. But they were using their experience to be able to propel their idea forward, right? And with that inspiration, I kind of hope to put that forward, because I've definitely reached out to some of my friends. You know, they have some off time every now and then, but they really like to play games together. They really like, video games, all that. You know, they're hella into that. Um, I still do, but at some point, it kind of wears off, and I want to get into the more meaningful conversations. Like, I guess maybe at some point I'll bring up some topic of a video game to try to like compare some kind of psychoanalysis or something. Maybe we'll see. And I wanted to start out with the foundation of thought, right? Because you can't without you thinking of becoming that one thing, you will never get there. And some people just need to hear that. You just need, like I did too. I seriously did, because I've always heard it. It's a famous quote. Like, it doesn't, like, it does. You can't really go over your head. It's, I think, therefore I am. You know, so in some way, that's like, hey, if you want to go out and reenact the Civil War, go right ahead, right? Because you're in that time period now. And I honestly believe a lot of actors may adopted this. I almost feel like whenever they get on set, there's probably some kind of preparation. You got to be able to like separate your true self from all these other masks, right? Not just on the set, but like also off the set. So you have all this like psycho, like all this psychology that is affected by what is real. Like, you're going into a real situation, but it is a scenario. It's not necessarily fake, because it's a reality, right? Like, you're acting it out. Excuse me. And I've actually thought about trying to be an actor at some point, because I would always I was like the class clown. I would always try to get a laugh. Um, and like, even from like the like just the I guess bullies. I don't know if that's the right word, but just the people that I guess were really not fun to be around, I guess you could say. I'm not sure what the right word is for that, but regardless, maybe it's like annoying or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody can talk smack every now and then. Like it's perfectly fine to go back and forth every now and then. But when it's obvious that this person is making other people's live miserable just for the sake of a joke, I feel it's only appropriate that I forward that idea and say, hey, look, you can laugh without having to hurt someone, basically. Well, not physically, but it's like, obviously, if you're in a group and someone makes a joke, like, everyone laughs. It's like, oh, you got two options, right? You can either laugh or and play it off, or like, well, I mean, I guess you could laugh and go along with it if you're seriously like that well centered, right? And there's also just lashing out, like, you took that personal, and oh, I cannot tell you how many times I've been stuck in this area so hard sometimes. Like someone could say like just a normal thing, and then 5 seconds later, my head's like, oh wait, what? huh? Like it's like this trigger in my head that's like it just triggered that response, like the flat response. Like I feel like I have to make a move almost. It's like it feels like they pulled up the chessboard, and then like the table was already set, and then they made the first move, and it's just like, oh, now it's on me. Or it's like playing ball, but like it's dodgeball, right? You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, here you. It's not like here you go. It's just they're just full strength. Like I've been waiting on this all day. I wanted to pelt you with this ball, you know. And I can't say that I've fallen into desperate traps before. Like I've gotten physical with people. Um, never like starting it. Obviously, like I'm a very like pulled back. Uh, I guess chill. If you, I'm a chill guy. And beyond that, you know, I just try to get a few laughs here and there. And delving into psychology certainly helps with that because obviously, you know, it's just like, oh yeah, we live through life. You know, society it's different nowadays, but you can still make it funny. You know, it's just I think therefore I am, and I'm gonna make this funny. I'm gonna make you laugh right now. All right. But then again, you know, sometimes you don't always want to be the entertainment. You know, and maybe that's what those people wanted. They always wanted some kind of form of entertainment. They thought that they needed to show other people how bad they were, I guess. Just how dominant they could become in an environment. And quickly you see that topple because some people are very, very surface level and they'll just, it's like superficial. Like you just look a certain, like you could walk in with a good attitude, a certain energy. And you know, if someone's feeling down, they can't not help see you be happy. At least for the most part. At least now I've had like very decent coworkers. Like I would always come in like a very solemn face. Like it looks like I'm just like I just got done crying all the time, right? But really I'm just like, dude, I don't want to be here. You know, it's just like that. But looking back, I really should have taken more opportunity to to really look with everyone, like not just like one or two coworkers like in my department, but also like within other departments that are like still in that company like locally, right? Because that's how you build leadership, you know, right? Like once you know who someone is, you know, there could be not necessarily like copy paste, but it's like an archetype. And once you kind of figure out like who that person kind of is, like you can kind of nail the right things, right? You can kind of successfully just say all the right things because like that's just their personality, that's just how they vibe, right? But that's what I was thinking when I was still just a youngin' delivering stuff, and I was with my coworkers, and some of them were actually very accommodating. They were like very helpful. There was this one supervisor that I had, and everybody seriously looked up to him. Like he was a very kind individual, I would say very Christian man. I would say, but it's one of those. No, I say this. What's actually funny is because the memory I have of him is that we were standing at one of the computers to get. I forgot what was happening, but we were basically standing there, and some kind of like hiccup happened, and so it was me, this one other guy, um, the supervisor that I was talking about, and then his coworker next to him, right? So we're all sitting there, and he's worked there for like 10 to 15 years already, right? So these people like really know him, and I didn't really see the side of it. Like I knew he didn't cuss. Like I knew he was kind of like always trying to stay on the right side of things. Like, oh hey, you need to do this for your job, but like I'm not going to pressure you. You can walk away from it. And that's what I liked about him. Like that no pressure thing like made me feel like I could kind of step in, like not on the authority level, but just so like he created space is what I'm trying to say. And so that type of personality that he was, that relatively affected me because I was thinking that okay, he's creating this space, like I kind of want to like close a little bit, just a little bit, not like hey, what's up, bro? Hey, not like dap him up like immediately, you know what I mean? But it was good to get to know them. It was good. It was great to get to know all of them while I was there. But yeah, I think therefore I wanted to make this YouTube video. And stay tuned for more. I have a psychological series that I'll be putting more into each day. And if it felt like this needed a little bit more, if it was like too much, let me know in the comments. I'm trying to like create this certain style. I have kind of like this A, B, C, like start here, but then it's a whole process. Like I'm not vocalizing it well, but I think that we all kind of like understand, like, oh, brainstorm and then lead into this. Yeah, it's whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching.